25. First things first, let me know if y'all, first of all, if y'all seen the episode, what did y'all think of the episode? Let me know down below. Look, I said one thing about Lee. I said one thing about Lee. She gonna choke somebody out. She's supposed to be choking Luna on next week's episode, y'all. I said one thing about Lee is she choke somebody out. So I'm gonna do the promo first, and then we gonna dive into the review. So based on the promo, Thomas still gonna be confronting Brooke, and Reach gonna be in between them or whatever. And Thomas gonna be saying, "Tell me that basically she's lying or whatever." So I'm assuming she gonna say that they married now. And he upset. I was like, "Look, at the end of their scene, I was like, somebody better save Brooke, cause he want to take her out. That's what I got from it. He want to take her out or whatever." And the other thing, what was the other thing? I think they showed Katie, Will, and Bill. They was confronting Luna, saying how she took advantage of her son or whatever. And Lee's right there. And then Lee gonna say, you evil or whatever, and she gonna choke her. She gonna use that same one hand she did to, look, she gonna choke the sister, now she choke her granddaughter. And I said, one thing she gonna do is choke somebody out. But what else did they show? What else did they show? Did they show, I already said Thomas, they showed, what's the last thing, Lee choking out Luna? I think it was, but I said she told Remy on today's episode that she needed him to hire her. She needed more time or whatever to build her life with Will. So I was like, she probably gonna go to Remy and try to get pregnant by him. But okay, so who we gonna start with first? I guess Brooke and Ridge, they was just excited about being married and stuff like that. So they decided to text Donna and Eric. So Brooke told Brooke told Donna or whatever, and that's when Daphne came in. Daphne came in or whatever. She was like, she overheard what they were saying or whatever, and she was congratulating them. So Brooke was just talking about surprising Ridge and finding something to wear to surprise him and stuff. So Daphne gonna give her some perfume to wear. I said, whose side are you on? Don't give her no perfume. But yeah, that's how that happened with them. On Eric and Ridge's side, he told him that he was right. Ridge basically told Eric that he was right and stuff. And I'm trying to remember, y'all, because I didn't take no notes. I just wrote down their names this time, y'all. But yeah, he ended up telling him how he was right. Y'all hear that? He ended up telling him how he was right and everything. And he was like, that's the best news or whatever. He was like, we're not just, back together, we're married. And so they hugged and everything. So then they started talking about Thomas and Taylor and how she's dealing with everything. Oh, that's the other thing in the promo. That's the other thing they showed in the promo. Eric is gonna be talking to Taylor, or Taylor gonna be talking to him, saying, "Do you really think that Brooke is what's best for a Ridge or whatever?" It don't matter. He ain't learned. He done got his heart broke. She done got her heart broke. It don't matter. It really don't. Hold on, y'all. It really don't matter or whatever. I think that was the last thing that they showed in the promo. But yeah, Eric was just congratulating him. They was talking about Taylor and if she's hurt and stuff. Speaking of Taylor, so Thomas went to check on her. She's still in the same spot. I said, look, it's just heartbroken. I said, that made no doggone sense. And she's still making excuses. I mean, she finally holding him accountable, saying that he made his choice or whatever. But aside from that, I said, look, she been in the same spot for what, 2 episodes, 3 episodes? They done sit up here and got engaged, got married all in 1 episode, and she's still in the same spot. But she did tell Thomas how she's not gonna let this, get her down or whatever. How she's stronger than that, and how Ridge made his choice, and Thomas just studied Brooke this and Brooke that. I said, you don't hear the things coming out your son's mouth? I said, you don't hear the things coming out your son's mouth? You don't get it? I said, you don't get it? So Brooke was back there changing and stuff, trying to get Donna advice because she thought that was Donna that walked through the door. So she came and she seen that it was something. She put the robe on and everything. So he started confronting her, talking about how she basically, she's never going to hurt his mom or his family again. I said, somebody save her. I said, somebody save her. She in danger. I said, she in danger. The way he was talking, I said, he finna take her up out of there. But based on the promo, Ridge gonna come in. I said, you made it just in time. Oof. And she was almost gone. He can't stand her. I said, him and his sister can't stand her. But I don't think I ain't gonna say that, because I ain't been watching it as long as other people. So I don't know if Steffi ever talk like him or not. But I know he crazy though. I know if he'll use his son to get somebody and all this other stuff, ain't no telling what else he'll do. But yeah, he was like, it ends today or whatever. And what else he said? I already said how he said that she's never gonna hurt his mom or family again. I said, now why he ain't got the same energy for his daddy? I said, what the word going on? Why doesn't he have the same energy for his daddy or whatever? I think with Donna and Eric, they was just talking about Brooke and Ridge and what's going on, and maybe they'll be together and stuff like that. I think the last people we got, I scratched out Luna and Remy. Did I say Luna and Remy? I scratched these posts out, but I don't think I said it. Yeah, I don't think I said Will and Luna. With Will and Luna, so he's still in shock and everything about what happened. So she was just standing up there smiling. He was like, "Look at you, you proud of yourself. Look at you, just smiling like you did, basically like she did something grand." What I be saying all the time. And I said, I've been saying that all week long since they did this. She just standing up there smiling. I said, "You crazy girl? What the world?" I said, "You know you took advantage of him, right?" That's exactly what that's called. And he told her that, and she just over here still smiling and still trying to convince him that it's not like that. And he's basically telling her she going to jail. This fool took out his doggone phone and turned his back. Yeah, no, I hate when they do that. Like, so she started looking around. I said, she about to hit him. Because he called his mama. I said, at least tell her something. I said, you could have left. By the amount of time it took him to take that phone out, call and everything, then he went halfway look for her. He went out there trying to look for her. She had ran off or whatever. So then he came back in looking for her again. I said, now, then you just see that she went in there. I said, you had plenty of time. So then he called, I don't know if Katie called him back or he called his mama back. But I was like, he had plenty of time to tell them over the phone because anything could happen, especially especially with Luna going to Remy for help. I want to know what she wanted from him. Hold on, y'all. I don't put the thing in. Let me see. But yeah, so he took out the phone because I skipped all over that. He took out the phone. Katie answered the phone. He was telling her something. He didn't get a chance to tell her. That's when Luna ran out the door. She ran out the door. She's trying to get in one door, then she tried to get in another door or whatever. And when she got in there, she was like, help or something. And then it was Remy. And I said, now where he been? I said, now where they come from? I said, where that room come from? But yeah, hold on. So then, what else happened? Let me see. He was like, what? You supposed to be dead or whatever. And they just spent that time. She could have been out of there. She could have been gone because Will halfway look for her. He halfway looked for her or whatever. So she was like, I need your help. I need you to hire me or whatever. Because I need more time to, try to build a life with Will and everything. I said, this lady, she just like Drew over here on General Hospital, get away with everything. But yeah, so I don't know if he gonna help her, but I know that some type of way they gonna find her because Lee gonna be choking her out. Lee gonna be choking her out and they gonna be telling her how she took advantage of Will or whatever. And Lee gonna be like, what or whatever. Yeah, duh. If she'll murder somebody, she'll do anything. What the word going on? But yeah, so I don't know if Remy gonna help her or say he don't want to be involved. I don't know if they gonna find her by then. But Will went to the house. He said he called Katie, or either Katie called him, and that's when he was like, meet me at Dad's house or whatever. I got something to tell y'all. He walked in. He was like, can't believe it. I think one of them said, it's like you seen a ghost. And he was like, I did. Luna's alive or whatever. And he didn't get to tell them the rest of it. But, Katie know about the mystery woman. So, obviously, she's going to know everything else because she's going to be confronting her on next week's episode. And I was like, yeah. I said, y'all should have the police. I was like, what y'all going to do? I ain't see Chief Baker. I about to say, with his nun doing job self. That's hit that roll. Hold on. I about to say, with his nun, how you say it? With his nun doing his job self. But yeah, I was like, because they always think they can handle things themselves, but then when they go hitting people and choking people and stuff, they want to act all afraid. What the police said? She's supposed to be in jail. And Lee talking about everything she done did. Girl, you think she thought about that? You think she care about that? She done been giving you hints when you came in and you seen she was gone and snuck out or whatever, then snuck back in. You should have turned her in then. Now you want to choke her out and stuff. I said, I guess they gonna pull her off of her. I said, I guess they gonna pull her off of her. But that was it, y'all. Let me make sure. I think I said everything else. Thomas was blaming Brooke. Taylor was saying she'll be okay and stuff like that. He's like, but you hurting and stuff. And that's when he decided to go confront Brooke and stuff, talking like he was about to murder her and stuff. But that was it. That was all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, do have a good rest of the day and be safe.